right here at the bottom left corner of the map. Playing for Good Game Gaming. He is Patience. And spawning here at the top right, he is the red Terran player playing also for Good Game Gaming. Make some noise for Dream. Alright, so off the bat, Dream fresh with his PVT, or I guess I should say TVP from the last series. Patience, on the other hand, he played a PvP instead, so not quite warmed up yet in his PVT matchup. Patience doing a little bit of a precaution here. Gonna go ahead and make sure that there's no proxies, no shenanigans here out in the right below the cliff area, I would say. Is that a full wall? I'm not quite sure. Alright, so a little bit of a difference here. We did see Zest kind of sending his probe out to harass. Patience, on the other hand, kind of keeping his probes back at home. Not going to go ahead and scout over across the map. So he will be in the dark momentarily. Dream, on the other hand, going to go ahead and once again open up with that Reaper. Now, he did get some nice, decent damage with his initial Reaper in his games versus Zest. Let's see if he can get some similar probe kills against a Patience. This time around, Patience is going to have his Adept in position perfectly. And of course, wouldn't have expected any other tech of choice here by Patience. I think his bread and butter are those Blink Stalkers. Most of the time, you will see him open up with Twilight Cancel. I mean, every now and then he will open up with maybe Stargate or something like that. But for the most part, you can kind of expect Patience to go up to Twilight Cancel tech and get those Blink Stalkers out and about. And you know what? I can't blame him, because as a Protoss player myself, Blink Stalker is pretty fun to play. They're pretty mobile. They have a lot of blink potential, micro potential. However, sometimes you don't want to kind of lean too heavily on them, because the Terran player might go for Bio, and Bio does do pretty well against just Blink Stalkers. Maybe unless you have like an overwhelming amount of Stalkers, you can overwhelm the Terran player. But in the head-to-head fight, Blink Stalkers is not the best against Marine and Marauders, especially against Marauders. A nice little hallucinated scout here by Patience. We'll see what's up. Should note that there is no 3 racks timing push, but of course there is that Hellion drop. Now keep in mind, there is a proxy gateway out and about, so if this does not do a ton of damage and he does not kill a lot of these Stalkers, Patience can very well just go ahead and counterattack him. And there's not going to be a lot here. I mean, there's only one tank. If Patience can blink on top of the tank, he might be able to just overtake the army advantage and just keep blinking against the Marines. Because I believe, wait, does the Marines? Yeah, the Marines don't even have stim or combat shield. So These Marines are pretty vulnerable. Oh man, Patience is going to go ahead and break the front here. Tank is going to go ahead and try to reposition. This Adept is providing kind of a little bit of a scout to see where the army is at, and making sure not to get into the crossfires of the tank. Kind of keeping himself on the left side to make sure he doesn't suffer any damage against these against the tanks. Oh, but these Adept's Shade does draw the tank fire, allowing Patience to blink on top of the tanks that will go ahead and clean up the rest of the tanks. This Observer is so crucial in providing that uphill vision. Now, a lot of these Stalkers are very low in life, so Patience is gonna make sure to micro very carefully. The good thing is that there is not a lot to contend with these Stalkers. There is one tank here on the high ground, but the Raven is out of energy. It doesn't have any energy for some anti-armor missiles. Even if he had energy for interference matrix, that wouldn't really help out against one Stalker amongst a group of Stalkers. And I would love to see Patience kind of blink up on the high ground towards the main, because it seems like Dream has kind of fortified his whole entire army down here at the natural. Now, Patience, he doesn't really need to go further in. He has his Dirt Nexus up and about. We'll get that saturated pretty soon, but he definitely want to do at least some additional damage, because look at the worker count. The workers are even, and this is with Dream with a Dirt CC, so he is going to go out macro Patience if Patience does not get some additional damage done, or at least, at the very least, contain Dream for a long period of time, which is probably not going to happen because Stim is halfway done. Combat Shield is has started as well, so there is a period of time where Patience is going to have the advantage in terms of dictating the pace and dictating the contain here of a Dream. But I gotta say, Dream is holding off pretty strong. And looks like these 4 Adepts are sectioned off to the side. I'm expecting a Warp Prism of some sort. Oh no, actually he's just going straight into Colossus. Okay. Yeah, I think he really wants to get that Colossus sec up and running really quickly, because there is a chance that the Terran might just go across the map for the counterattack. And you definitely want to have at least something to deal with the bio units of Dream. Alright, a little bit of a distraction here onto the dirt base will allow Patience to go ahead and blink up onto the main. But was that the right call? A lot of Stalkers in red life. Gonna have to blink out here, as Stim has finished for the Terran player. And so far, really Patience with his mobility of these Adepts and these Blink Stalkers, trying to keep up the pressure on Patience. Or sorry, on Dream, to make sure he doesn't move across the map. Of course, Dream also wants to go ahead and stay put at home to establish that third CC. Kind of get that saturated as best as he can. But yeah, gonna see a little bit of a skirmish here out in the middle of the map. Only I think 2 sentries here. Not a lot of force field. These forces are actually pretty bad. That's gonna allow the Marine Marauder army to almost get on top of these Colossus. I think he only picked off 1 there. Let me see. Yep, picked off 1 of these Colossus. In the meantime, Patience did smartly kind of shade in with his Adepts, getting additional SCV kills, and once again putting some pressure and attack on the right side as well as on the left side. Adepts gonna go ahead and shade into the natural. That is gonna get some nice deep stun damage that has gone unanswered, as Dream is just way too focused here on this main force onto the bottom right side. But boy, 19 SCVs killed. These Adepts has been so good. Patience, though, he's got to be careful. He does not want to just chuck away all these units because that counter attack is imminent. As Dream is making his way across the map. Do we have any splash damage? Okay, 2 Archons, 1 Colossus being made. He might want to go ahead and trade that in with a Disruptor, because if he can get a really massive Disruptor hit, that might be able to kind of allow him to hold on. Or at the very least, make some shield batteries here at the third base. There's no shield battery to heal these injured units. Oh, actually, one way in the back in the mineral line, so that should help at the very least. But he should. I would like him to throw down some additional shield batteries, because this is going to be the point of contention for the next minute or two. And if Patience can somehow, some way hold on and defend this without losing too much, he's going to be ahead. He's got the worker lead. He's got the +2. He's got the better army, assuming that later on he gets more Colossus and Disruptors. But he still needs to clean this army up. Anti-armor missiles going down on the Protoss army, but all these Archon and Colossus is gonna be able to push these infantry units back. There's only 1, actually 0 medevacs, and all these Marauders are so red in life. I would give chase if I was Patience. I mean, clean up all these Marauders. That's gonna definitely help out. You don't want them to get healed up and then, you know, make it harder for yourself. But Dream, or Patience rather, is going to go ahead and try to go up this cliff. Not going to work out. He doesn't have quite the amount of Stalkers here to make use of that kind of that strategy play. And you definitely don't want to lose all your Stalkers, because there are Vikings in production, I believe. Yeah, there's 2 Vikings, but I would expect Dream to start making some more. And if you don't have any Stalkers to pick them off, then you know all your Colossus is going to be very vulnerable. Alright, Patience feeling confident enough to dive in on here. These Archons gonna go ahead and get on top of these Marine and Marauders. These Colossus here gonna get sandwiched a little bit here by both sides, but there's just too much on the ground for a Dream to snipe them off. And Patience will pick off game number 1 against a Dream, his teammate Dream. A really nice, solid game here coming out of both players. But Patience, he managed to do some good, nice, decent damage with those initial blink Stalker force, and was able to hold off the counterattack. And well done there. Tigera 6 in the live chat saying Colossus burnt those bow down into crisp. Yeah, those Colossus were very key, especially since Dream didn't really have a lot of medevacs to heal them constantly. You saw his army in the end getting very red, and I gotta give credit to Patience for blinking on top of those medevacs and sniping them off. You know, sometimes... Oh, sorry. Let me go ahead and switch off to the StarCraft screen here. Sometimes, you know, it is very difficult to decide, should I use those Stalkers to snipe off the ground units, or should I focus fire on those medevacs? So it's a kind of a split-second decision. You got to make it on the fly and kind of assess the situations. And Patience smartly was able to pick off those medevacs and force Dream Army back. And here we go, game number 2. Patience with a 1-0 lead. Spawning here at the top left corner of the map is the blue Protoss, playing for good game gaming. It is Patience. And spawning here at the bottom right is the red Terran player, also playing for good game gaming. Hailing from Korea, it is Dream. Now, both these players are the winners of their first matches. So even if Patience does win here and knocks out Dream, he does not get knocked out of the tournament completely. He at least bought himself the opportunity to play in the deciders match. So it's not do or die for either of these players, whoever gets knocked out or whoever loses this this match. Alright, so will we see another Blink Stalker opening play here coming out of Patience? I mean, it worked out pretty nicely for him in the last game. Now, there is a little cliff area where the Stalkers can blink in and out of. However, the buildings, the add-ons, are going to actually be spawning on the right side of the building. So it's going to make it harder for the Stalkers to focus fire on those add-ons and stop or prevent stem from finishing or combat shield or concussive shells. But it's still a pretty solid strategy to go for Blink Stalkers. I definitely seen a lot of protests go for it in the past, so I wouldn't be too surprised. But ooh, what do we have here? We have ourselves a sneaky starport. Now, of course, Patience has yet to scout this. Very much in the dark. It's going to be up to him to place his Stalkers in the main base. At least maybe get a pylon out here and the outskirts edges to scout that medevac ahead of time. But if it does go unscouted, these Hellions are going to do pretty decent damage. At the very least, he will scout the Hellion to move out, so that kind of should give him a nice indication. And already here, very smartly, walling off completely. And he might need to go ahead and recall this Stalker. Oh boy, he does not recall the Stalker in time, and these Hellions are going to get on top of these probe line. No shield battery to heal them. And that, oh my god, Sentry. They use the energy for hallucinating the scout instead of force field, so no force field energy to block out these Hellions. And oh my god, 15 workers, 16 workers. Oh no, Patience. Oh man, this hurts. 16 probes going down to 4 Hellions. I mean, boy. That's as good as an opening you can get or ask for if you're the Terran player, right? I mean, it is pretty much a Dream's game to lose at this point. All he needs to do is make sure he does not get killed by these Blink Stalkers. And look at that, already throwing down the bunker in anticipation of these Blink Stalkers. I think Dream has a really good shot of tying up the series and forcing a game number 3 here. Man, that was a monster pick off there with those 4 Hellions. Alright, Patient is going to go ahead and YOLO it. He is going to snipe on these tanks. We'll clean it up. And actually does a really nice job. Doesn't suffer too much damage here. A lot of the units I think were placed in somewhere at the ramp area at the near the natural, so these Stalkers were able to kind of pick off those tanks very easily in here. And oh boy, is Dream about to lose this here? He does lift up the supply depot that is going to block some of his units. The Stalker's going to blink down here below. There's no units in that bunker down below. And oh boy, is Patience doing this? That would be sick here. After losing 16 probes, at the very least he does kill 12, so he won't be like too far behind. But remember, he does not have a third nexus. He doesn't have a third nexus, so he still needs to do some good amount of damage to make this you know, even out a bit. Now, as I say this, it doesn't look like Dream also has a third base, so. Oh my god, getting sidetracked there. 4 stalkers on the side will pick up that last tank. And oh no, things are just falling apart for the Terran player. These stalkers, patience making these stalkers feel like they're gods instead of mere aliens. Oh my goodness. Now, with all that said and done, patience still holding off pretty strong here. Just gotta make sure not to lose too much further here. Oh man, the micro of patience just looking so fantastic. Maybe this tank can somehow, some way force patience back, but there is an opening here where this tank is not in range. Oh man, the siege tank does unsiege and will get immediately picked off by patience. Yeah, I think this is the momentum has swung. Units are kind of being rallied into their deaths, and these stalkers gonna go ahead and focus fire on that marine, focus fire on that tank. Oh, actually does get a nice let up, but the blink micro once again being shown here by patience will pick up that medevac along with the tank, and there really is nothing left over except these SCVs. And Dream is just like wondering like, what in the hell? I had this game, and he just throws it away. GG. Patience will once again not force a game 3.